This is Girls Night Out, the podcast.
Hello, I'm Gavin Stephens. Welcome to episode 90 of Girls Night Out. To my left is... See how I'm doing?
That was good. Nick Tomkin, and to the left of me is...
Mayce Galoni.
Why are you laughing
A very
so much?
proud Mayce Galoni.
Oh, you're proud because of that?
I'm happy that you did that.
Yeah.
That really... Oh,
Because I figured I didn't do it last week. Let's do it this week. So I did it.
I'm not going to lie. I allotted about a half an hour to deal with the... Because I didn't think you would do it. I didn't
You
think you would do
allotted a half an hour?
it. In my head, yeah.
Well, that's
wow. I'm very happy about that.
Well, I just figured, you know what? Let's do it this week and see what happens. Like, just because there's not a lot of us here today.
And this is what happened.
Yeah.
Joy.
Joy have
reached across the aisle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of those moments. It was one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was telling these guys that I passed by a disguise shop, but it's closed. And that's not a store that exists in this day. Like, nobody buys disguises. Like, it was a big store, too. Like, they had a lot of square footage.
Where was this disguise?
It was
store?
on, I'm not sure of all the streets, but it was Main Street. It was near where you used to do your show.
Okay.
In that whole neighborhood.
And what is it now?
I don't know. It's just empty.
Or is it disguised?
I don't think it's disguised as a store.
I'm sticking to that theory that it is just disguised. They moved all the disguise costumes in like behind fake panels in the back, and now they're just waiting.
So, but I guess that's the trick of the disguise store. You don't know if it's open or closed because it's always disguised.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a good store. I can buy my mustache and big nose here, and no one will know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm chopping here because it's disguised.
Just
as
if
a
you
store.
are looking for a disguise and you need a store, just walk into anything that looks abandoned. On the chance you walk in, is this a disguise? You got us. How much for a fake mustache? $3,000. Business isn't going well.
It's like we need to pay this month's rent.
Yeah.
This paper's disguised as money.
Oh, this whole thing backfired on us. This whole disguise.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there even was a disguise store.
Stores like that, that's from a time when people had money, I think, where they can, let's blow some on disguises. Disguises.
One sec. To be clear, we're talking about costume stores.
I guess so, but it was called a disguise store. So it's even, to me,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with disguise.
Okay.
Meaning, like, Inspector Clouseau goes in there and is like, I need to look. I'm sneaking into a debutante's ball tonight. Do you have something? Something in that, a top hat, maybe a monocle, something I can, fit in. Get secrets. I need a pocket that can hold like a USB drive because I'm doing a lot of spying tonight. I want to disguise myself as a car. I'm going to be hiding out in the parking lot for a long time. Like a Lamborghini. Like, it's the 80s, clearly.
Yeah.
Also, smoke bombs? Do you have any smoke bombs?
We got come to the smoke bomb
Of course
section.
they got smoke bombs.
Smoke
They got
bomb-
smoke bombs and gumball machines.
and bath bombs. I was going to say, just don't confuse a smoke bomb with a bath bomb because it's not as relaxing.
And if you need to get out, if you're in a place that you need to escape, throwing just like a floral scented soap isn't going to help you.
That smells gorgeous. Murder him. Murder him. He's right in front of us. No, you're not supposed to see me. You're not supposed. Oh, it's a bath bomb. I gotta go to the disguise store. You guys sold me a bath bomb, so a smoke bomb. Disguises.
Reel yourself in with broken bones.
I'd like to talk to you about your smoke bomb, bath bomb display and how close it is to each other. Do you have proper signage? Because I got to tell you, I was in a bit of a sticky situation.
This store's too big to have those next to each other.
Exactly. You can have them at either end of the store. This is ridiculous. Yeah, next time, I'm just going to be smelling my smoke bombs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how long, how recently was it open?
I don't know. It was boarded. Some of the windows were boarded. Some of them weren't. It looked like it was like early 90s, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It looked like they made a go of it, and it didn't happen. But like near my old house, there was Bowser's Den of Magic. You would know that one, right?
This is in Toronto?
Yeah, in Toronto. It's at Bathurst and Eglinton.
No, I think Bowser's was actually closed by the time I was doing Magic.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, someone said I talked to someone and their kid was doing Magic, nerdy like you.
Yeah.
And
or is it still open? Because
don't
then
think
it
so.
might be a new one since I've stopped.
Bowser's. When did I live there? That was years ago. Probably almost 10 years ago.
Well, 7 years ago I was doing magic,
So,
and
yeah.
Morrissey Magic was the only shop I ever went
Morrissey.
to. Now,
Was it run by the guy from the Smiths, Morrissey?
it was run by the musician Morrissey. It was weird.
Would you like to buy some magic? Is that what he said? Come in here and buy some magic.
I don't know Morrissey well enough to
That's okay.
riff on this, but
It's okay. Bowser's is a good place. I remember just wandering in there and it was like,
I know the character from Mario Bowser. Do you want to riff on that? Maybe. Do you want to do the same premise? But
okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Was Bowser's owned by the end boss? It was depressed.
100% of the things that we're supposed to be edited out. Don't get edited out.
I think they
so
stay in. I've never listened to a podcast. I know. I think I've listened to one or two.
I listened to one when you guys were doing it without me. Before it really
the good old days
picked up and
the good old days. Yeah.
No, I think if we actually talk to the listeners, they would say that the good old days are right now.
This right here is the good old days.
This is the good old days.
Well, then we're the good new days.
No, there are no good new days. It's all
This is
good
old?
old. This is old.
You're like a Mitch Hedberg joke.
Yeah,
Every picture's from when you were younger.
that's a great bit.
Yeah, it is.
Chedberg is a great guy.
He was awesome.
Anyways, back to the Bowser's Magic Shop.
Uh-huh.
He had Peach.
You never went in there.
Oh no, I didn't.
I'm taking you off from the rip.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I was trying to find it out for that.
Yeah.
So when you did magic, did you do corporates? Like,
Yeah, I did. It started with my first paid gig ever was at a biker bar. I was 12 years old.
who the fuck was responsible for your well-being?
Binbrook, and it was called Suck Bang Blow.
Wow.
Which
How did you get this gig yourself?
I believe I did. Yes, actually, you know what I did? Because the confusing part about that is that my mom and the owner went on a date.
That's
only
not
one
confusing
date,
at all.
but it was after. It was through
You
me.
looked up your mom.
Yeah, not purposely. I didn't set out like, you know what? He looks like her type.
You know what? I want to fuck that magic kid's mother.
Magic Kid's mother. He
They
did
must-
say that.
he
exactly.
probably did.
He said those exact
On his
words.
motorcycle. He has instead of a desk in his back room, he has a motorcycle. He does all his work on a motorcycle.
This is not efficient. I got to go fill up my desk.
She was flirting with them. Did she come down with you?
No, so here's what happened. I was very, very shy.
Yes.
Still am in some cases,
I
but
was picking up dates on my days. I'd be shy too.
this is my first gig. I didn't know that that's what would happen. I mean, granted, after this, I hoard my mom out for gigs all the time.
should.
I decided I wanted to. No, I started practicing magic, but didn't show anybody ever. Like once in a while, I'd show my family.
Yeah.
But I would say that I wanted to be a magician.
Yeah.
Like I had the vision in my head,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't show anybody. And then finally, my dad was like, he's like, it's real. He would always suggest that I do magic to like his friends that came over, and he was like, well, if you want to be a magician. Or any goal that you have.
You got to do it.
Yeah, you have to. You'll only find happiness if you start to try to do it. If it's always something you want, you'll never be happy because you'll just keep wanting it.
Yeah.
And
That's great advice.
It was great advice. Yeah, and so it wasn't like mean or it wasn't like you should
No,
do it.
it's logical.
It was just and it was just very helpful. It's like. So I committed to like doing magic to everyone, and then I was like, once I got comfortable with that, I was like, oh, I can start doing gigs. So I started cold calling restaurants, and I probably sounded like just like a a young
you got
girl
gigs.
on the phone. Yeah, it was hard at first. Like one day, I would call like 30 restaurants a day, and I had this like. Hi, my name is Mayce Galoni. I'm a close-up illusionist, and I was calling to see if you'd be interested in hiring Strolling Magic Entertainment, something like that.
What is your mom wearing? All right, well, hi, bring your mom down.
I just like the idea that like it's pretty amazing that you got gigs, but then like your mom's like,
Yeah.
I can get a date out of this. Like,
A biker bar. That sounds good.
So what happened? Let me get to the story. Actually, it's not much of a story, but
I before you continue, what your father said about going after a goal, that works for everything but fame.
Yeah,
because there's nothing to chase. It's just a goal that doesn't exist. But it works for everything else, everything that's tangible.
I think that the whole idea is like if you enjoy doing something, do it.
But if
thinking about doing it,
yes. But exactly.
And fame isn't something you do.
There's no accomplishment to that.
Fame is the goal. Essentially, of fame is to have everybody think of you a certain way, and you can't control
like you.
To everyone like you, and you can't control how other people think.
Exactly.
So to live your whole life for the pursuit of convincing everybody else of thinking something,
well, that's why
it's not going to happen.
There's a lot of people who do stuff that they think they should be doing, and who shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But continue your story. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that was a great point. Then he was the only one that the very first day that I did it, that was like, he's like, I would offer to come to their store and show them some magic tricks.
Yeah, just so they can trust you.
Yeah, and then we could talk more about it. So he's like, yeah, all right. And it was empty when I went because it was in the middle of the day. Yeah. And it seemed kind of sketchy, but it was all right because there was nobody there. Yeah. And I showed him some magic tricks, and he liked it. And he's like, all right, this Thursday, he agreed to give me like $100 or something for like an hour.
Yeah.
Wow. And then I went down, and it was rough.
Yeah.
People liked it because I was so young.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like I was like 18 and just they could like shove me off or be a dick to me.
Even 18, they would be like,
But 12 was so young that they were like
they're not picking you up over their head like in a hallway. They go into a bar and then
throwing me into the dumpster.
So, what did you say, card tricks? What do you mean? That's not my card.
Are you fronting on my girl? I guess they wouldn't say front. I don't know.
No. Close.
Maybe
something tough.
And I went, and then my mom came because she wanted to be there for my first gig.
Yeah.
And then they started talking, and at one point I was like, I was off work a half an hour ago, and I'm still waiting for her to drive me home.
Did she touch his arm?
I think she giggled.
Did she touch his arm? Did she play with her hair?
But it didn't go well, I guess. They just didn't really get along.
Yeah, because it was all on a motorcycle. He's like, getting my side cart.
I'm not going to be anybody's side cart.
You're not gonna, see what Nick said? I'm not going to be anyone's side cart. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
That's got to...
Yeah. But then, after that, I got another bar gig at Filthy McNasty's, which was every weekend.
Now.
Yeah. Largely because I left, I think.
It's like this podcast.
I remember the good old days.
Yeah, now.
And then from that, I did a few corporate events before that, but especially from doing that and just like handing out my card, I got a lot of corporate events.
Wow, people really liked your stuff.
It seemed like it.
They didn't say you were full of shit.
They rarely said that I was full of shit.
Some guys, that 12-year-old is just full of shit.
One time, what one guy did, which I was very embarrassed about.
Molest you?
I wasn't so much embarrassed about that.
No, that's part of the course. You're a magician.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues. I would always introduce myself and get all of their names before I did it because it seemed like a welcome, a friendly.
It's very smart business stuff. It's like you're giving respect. You're treating them properly.
But I never remembered their names, not even once.
That's downfall.
That is the downfall. So I went, hey, my name's Mayce. What's your name? Got all of their names, 4 people around a table, and then I got to the end, and immediately the first guy went, okay, so what's our names again? And I just stood there like, Yeah, I had nothing.
My friend Russell, what he would do when you meet girls is like name them like pretty girl and stuff like. It's because he never remembered their names. You should have done the same thing.
He'd just
He'd
say,
say, "What's my name? Hey, pretty girl,
pretty
sexy
girl,
lady, you know?
sexy lady,
Say,
macho
what's
man,
up? Yeah, just macho
heavy dick."
heavy dick, heavy dick. That is my name. I've been going as Steve as a cover. My parents named me Heavy Dick, and I never got over it.
Yeah.
Changed it to Steve. Heavy Dick. That's very specific.
Yeah.
Well, I waited.
But
it is pretty heavy.
But let's be honest. Are you gonna rebuttal anybody who decides to call you heavy dick,
No.
or are you gonna agree with them?
I'm gonna agree. Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you, heavy
It's
dick.
really heavy dick. But,
Yeah.
but whatever. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And then your mom went on a date.
yeah. And she got back to me. It was a heavy dick.
Yeah.
It was so heavy.
Uh,
It was like heavy, like one of your Transformer toys that you got there in your room. Like heavy, like your race car bed, Mace. That's what your mom says. Yeah, that man's dick was heavy, like your race car bed.
oh man.
You know, let's go lift up your race car bed to see how heavy his dick was. Come on,
We
Mace.
actually did it on your race car bed, so
We
it's
had
like
sex on your race car
extra heavy.
Yeah, we poured out some spaghetti Scarios on your bed and I made love.
Scarios.
Yeah.
What are
don't know-
Scarios?
They were like that shit. Did you have Scarios growing up?
Yeah, it's like alphagetti, but
Yeah, it was like shitty,
But
shitty,
terrifying.
cold pasta.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, it was like fingers, actual fingers.
Really?
Yeah, the mob. It was a mob thing. It was mob spaghetti.
From D'Angelo.
Yeah, and they were like, "What do we do with all these fingers?" Oh man, give them to kids.
Yeah.
It's Scarios.
It says Scarios on it. What's the problem?
Like-
we got all these extra fingers. Did you just hit yourself in the face with a microphone?
That seemed like really aggressive too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Ugh.
I'm sorry to have interrupted the Scarios, but that was
That's okay.
that was a great bit.
Yeah.
Scarios, fingers in the scary.
And I apologize. I tried to turn the mic, but since it doesn't turn. This part doesn't turn. It just went up and hit me in the teeth.
That's okay. I watched Rocky last night, 1 and 2.
How was that?
It's good. It's a good movie.
I've never seen any of the follow-ups. I've only ever seen
1?
only ever seen one. Yeah.
Have you seen Rocky?
When I was a kid, I remember it though.
Rocky's great up until Drago. The 5th one sucks, and then Balboa is really good. So they're all great, good movies.
What sucks about Drago?
No, Drago was good. It was the one after that when he's like retired, kind of, and they're like trying to get him. It was a shitty movie. And then after that, Balboa is good.
Huh?
I try to watch. I think it's Over the Top or whatever.
That's awesome.
And it's got that. What's that guy's name? He's like got a really weird name. He's from like Sweden or something like that.
I have no idea.
Guy?
Yeah. Is it
It's,
Lance?
Dolph Lundgren?
Or that's it, right?
He's Drago.
Yeah.
He's not in Over the Top.
No.
No,
Oh,
he's
okay.
in Rocky.
I'm mixing up my movies then.
Yeah, he's Rocky. Over the Top, the bad guy is this big trucker guy with these.
Oh,
overalls.
okay. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it.
And that's a whole movie about arm wrestling,
It's
right?
a whole movie. He wins a truck, arm wrestling.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
The 80s didn't take much. There was like Over the Top arm wrestling.
The 80s didn't take
Didn't.
much.
We were hooked. Arm wrestling,
Yeah.
hooked.
Yeah.
Then you got like the bouncer one. What's that one with what's his name from Dirty Dancing?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That one. He's a bouncer. He's the best bouncer in the world.
Yeah.
And they bring him in to help this bar. You're hooked.
Yeah.
The best bouncer in the
world. They bring him in to straighten up bars.
He throws out so many drunk guys.
That's right. They bring him in, and this is the worst bar ever. And so they bring him in, and he does Tai Chi on the beach and shit. And it's just like this beautiful man. This guy is tough. It really didn't take much karate. Like, look at our TV shows. Most of them revolved around a vehicle, a car, a truck, or a helicopter.
Yeah.
Just
That
the
was
idea of transportation. That's good.
Those are we like cars.
Yeah.
What do we do? Bikinis,
Knight
cars.
Rider.
Was Over the Top at least a comedy?
No, man. Why would that be a comedy?
It is kind of funny.
It's about competitive arm
It's
wrestling.
funny, but not on purpose.
Yeah.
There was
Not-
so it was a drama.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it.
What
a
was
drama.
it?
It's the music, the background, dun, 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 like all the time.
Wow.
It's over the top. It's over the top.
Doesn't I heard? doesn't it come down to like the guy like lifting his elbow or something?
No, he does this trick where his hand, like he's in normal arm wrestling, and then it's like his fingers go over the other guy's thumb.
Yeah.
And then, but they do it in, like he puts his hat backwards, and they do it in slow motion.
Rocky does?
Yes, Sylvester Stallone. And then he...
The character Rocky is in over the top.
Yeah,
right?
not the character, just the actor.
We're going to have to pause this. It's going to take a little while.
Yeah.
To work it out.
Let me get this
actors
straight.
And characters are different.
Wait, but Rocky
Yes.
is the actor and character.
No, it's Sylvester Stallone is the actor. Rocky is the character. He's also Rambo.
Good bit.
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
Rambo's a good bit.
Rocky did great in that Vietnam place, but I don't even know what.
that
I don't know
was-
what. I don't know what it's about.
The Rambo is he's a POW he's a Vietnam vet who comes back from the war, and he gets hunted by these small town cops.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're like this is the first one, First Blood, and he gets hunted in the woods by these cops that just want to harass him. They lock him up and they hose him down. They treat him like shit because they don't like the war of Vietnam. It was a whole Vietnam thing, and then he goes in the woods and he fucks them up. They go after him in the woods and he fucks them all up.
And since when are cops anti-war?
When they're rednecks,
Oh, I don't know.
cops are anti anything. I don't know if you've seen the Ferguson stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that because
Okay.
I don't know entirely what's going on with that. Like I know that, like obviously, I know the gist.
Yeah.
That this kid got killed.
Yeah.
And he got judged as innocent. And now
No, there was no trial.
there was no trial. Okay,
No,
so
it
tell me
was-
what happened.
It was they were trying to what they did. They went in front of a grand jury to decide whether to charge the cop.
Yeah.
And the cop got off completely.
Mhm.
But the prosecutor apparently, I don't know if you've ever been on his doing research on him. Was on the Wikipedia page. This guy has a history of this bullshit too, right? The prosecutor. He's just, apparently he's just shitty. And I was just watching this video today where the guy was like, someone was. They based the testimony. What he talked about was one witness saying, witness number 10 saying that Darren Brown charged him and he shot him. He had no choice, so he shot him once, 4 times. Then Brown started charging him, and then he shot him in the head.
Well, one sec. There's a lot of mixed facts about this, right? So get one thing clear: the cop is white, right?
Yes.
So he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's clear up a lot of facts.
Case
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah,
Case
there's
right?
nothing
Isn't
else.
that?
Dismissed.
I think
What's the
we're
next
good.
Yeah, we are good.
No. Go on.
So they were just saying how this one witness that they based most of the decision on,
Yeah.
recounted his testimony from the cops to the trial. So when he was talking to the cops in his testimony, he was 100 yards away. When he was at trial, they said 50 yards. He said 50 yards away. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's half a football field.
Yeah.
He said there was a lot of things that he recounted. It was a lot of he was saying he did some sort of motion with his hands, but I didn't really see. I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. So they used this one witness to make the decision of whether to charge, what's his name? Wilson? Is that his name? The cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the prosecutor acted like a defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to trying to. It was just all bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. But I knew the verdict, what it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It wasn't even a verdict. Yeah.
now what? Because I've only been hearing about all this stuff secondhand or through Facebook memes, which is never good,
Yeah.
But so, what do you say to the argument that he was apparently had just committed robbery and was threatening the cop?
Okay. My thing with that is, first of all, the cop didn't know anything about the robbery, if there was a robbery.
Okay.
When this happened, he had no idea. The chief of police. This is the other thing the prosecutor said, that he was reacting to the robbery. But the chief of police said in an interview on camera, I watched it myself, the officer didn't know anything about the robbery at the time.
Really?
Yeah, he said he didn't know. They weren't connected.
Wow.
So they weren't. This is the chief of police.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't even bring the chief of police out to question that. You figured if the chief of police says something on camera, on record, wouldn't you bring him to the trial to question that?
Yeah.
So, and secondly, my problem is okay, maybe he did steal, or because a strong arm, what was it they were saying he was? it's still no reason to kill someone.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't be shooting anybody just for that.
No,
Yeah.
not for that.
I heard.
And there was jaywalking. That's what the whole thing happened.
Wow. I heard one great argument, which is that, the main argument that I've heard for the cop's innocence is that Michael Brown was reaching for his gun, and as soon as you're attempting to gain a weapon, you are not considered unarmed.
But he was 35 feet away. That's what I
Well,
understand.
yeah, but the rebuttal to that I heard, which is common sense and brilliant, is that cops are trained for what to do when somebody takes your gun, and it's not just shoot.
Yeah,
it's the first day of training is like, how do you keep your gun shouldn't be ever at risk of being stolen. You should know exactly how to make sure somebody doesn't get it.
There were so many suspect things in this because, like the photos that came out where the cop looked all beaten up from the fight were
Darren
faked.
Wilson?
Yeah, Darren Wilson. Yeah. They were faked. They were there. There were photos of a dirt bike guy who died in the hospital. So they made him look. They brought these photos out of this guy that was all beaten up and hurt.
Wow.
But they were faked, and all he had was a little red thing on his cheek right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. And I'm not saying, I don't know. All of it's fake because I don't understand. People saw him 35 feet away, turn around, get shot, hands in the air, and then shot in the head. But how is he reaching for his? I don't understand how he's reaching for his gun. I don't understand that part.
Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense to me. Now, what?
It seems like that's the new sprinkle crack on themselves.
Yeah, it's all. It is the new
Sprinkle crack on them?
Yeah, in the 80s. Well, Dave Chappelle does a bit about sprinkle crack on a dead body. If a cop shoots someone, they sprinkle crack on them. Sprinkle crack.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was. But like, my problem is it didn't even go to trial. He didn't get charged.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest problem, right?
Yeah.
Like we can talk about what happened and what didn't happen, what evidence, but why would you bring it in front of a grand jury when apparently recently another cop got charged instantly? He had some altercation with someone. A black cop had an altercation from the same city, from the same district, with someone on the bus, and he got charged. He's charged with something, but this guy shoots someone, and it goes before a grand jury to decide whether they're going to discharge him.
Yeah.
And apparently, the prosecutor was also on. I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw a list of his defense fund. The prosecutor was one of the people who was on the board of that defense fund, trying to raise money for his defense. I don't understand how you don't get charged.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how does a cop not get charged? If you shot someone, shouldn't he get charged? And apparently in these grand jury trials, prosecutors have a way of making the jury side with them.
Yeah. Okay, so now I haven't done any research into this, so I don't have any facts to rebuttal or anything.
Yeah.
But just not even to play the devil's advocate at all, but just my one main question is nobody likes murderers.
No.
So what is it that is making all these people collaborate to free a guilty murderer? You know, what incentive do they have, or what's just systematically in our society is making it so that
those people all work together, right? Like the prosecutor knows the cop. The cop, they must
sure, but
be in the same.
But we work together, and if one of you guys murder somebody in cold blood, there's still going to be a part of me that's like, I'll come visit you in jail, but you should still go to jail.
But if I'm a prosecutor and my job is dealing closely with the police, I want the police on my side before I want a community that has no bearing on my career. Also, this prosecutor apparently has a history. There was he had I guess it was a DA agent and a cop shoot and killed a couple of guys in a McDonald's parking lot. Turns out the guys had nothing to do with any drugs or anything. And the guy did the exact same thing what he did here. And then he was on trial saying how they were scum anyway, so who cares? He was recorded as saying that.
Wow.
But it's like that guy that got off with affluenza.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I have a kid too.
Yeah.
It's like when you can relate to someone, on any level, be it the skin color or that you mingle in the same things, then you go a little bit lenient. They were out to get that cop off because you don't want to. The police department and the whole court system's fucked. Yeah, it's about money. It's not about fair and justice. It's not justice, and it's not a black or white thing either. Because poor white people are fucked too. Anyone that doesn't have any fucking money is worth shit. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like people think it's a race thing. That's what kills me. Is like it is a race thing, but the racism is an illusion. Yeah, it's just an idea or a construct to keep people separated and stupid, keep people down. Yep. It keeps one group of people thinking, "Oh, I'm better than them," but meanwhile, everyone's in the same. You think cops are not going to treat? They don't look at race. It's money. It's all about money. This is cash. It's all corrupt. It's cash.
They seem really. They have like a lot of bullet courage. It seems like I watched this one video, and this isn't so much with guns, but this guy, I guess they pulled over a family, and they were all black, in like a super white neighborhood, I guess. And the cop pulled them over and asked them all for ID, and the one guy in the driver's seat couldn't provide ID. So after talking a little bit, and there's kids in the back. Yeah. They break the window and taser. God, yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Like, you can't just taser somebody just because they don't have
a gun pulled on him by a cop getting pulled over.
Yeah.
He lives in the States. He got a gun pulled on him. We're in the car.
Yeah.
They like.
I'll be right back.
That's okay. They that kind of that's the thing too, is like the narrative in with the news is like, oh, how come they're rioting? What is with the rioting and the looting? What about what Martin Luther King think and all that bullshit? It's like, well, yeah, with the peace, it's like it wasn't peaceful back then. He was assassinated. Yeah, he was murdered, and like, what would Martin Luther King think? Well, shit hasn't changed since back then. Yeah. So yeah, you should be doing something. It's just, are you okay?
Yeah, I just kind of itched my nose and a booger came off, so I wanted to deal with that.
It's okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying is like the conspiracy of how can this person keep this up and this person, but like even the news is in on it. Like I was saying, then even the news is like part of the narrative. The narrative works, I think, on that level because it keeps people staying in line with the story. Yeah. And I think on the other level, it's like, it's just corrupt. Everyone's corrupt and bullshit. Everyone knows they're lying. It's all bullshit. Yeah. The whole thing's fucking bullshit. Cops are more like guards. Yeah. To me, they're more of hired guns. It's like Blackwater. Yeah. Like they shouldn't have all that military equipment that they had. Yeah, there's no reason that cops should have all that military equipment.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. They're for us. We pay their bills, but they are hired guns. And nothing made me feel more about that than the G20 and seeing how the cops were just like, it was us against them. Yeah, like it was just regular citizens against them, and they were hired to protect these fucking stores and fuck humanity. Fuck humans. You can fuck them up, who cares? Yeah. But if you break a window at Starbucks, oh my God. And everyone outside of the city was like, yeah, they're animals. How could they kick in a window at Starbucks? Who gives a fuck about Starbucks? Yeah. Like, I mean, you shouldn't kick in a window, but you know what I mean? It's like, so you're going to kick in a window, and that justifies knocking an old lady on the ground. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who gives a fuck? But that's what they're there for. They're there for that power structure. It's not far-fetched to go, money motivates people to do shit. Yeah. That's not far-fetched. It's just not far-fetched. Like, they live in a country where if you have enough money, you can buy say in their political system. Yeah. So it's not far-fetched to go, yeah, a prosecutor is going to defend the cops. Yeah. They work in the same system. You got to see that guy every day. Yeah.
It seems to like the shittier the person, the more likely they're motivated by money. Like no one in this room is motivated by money. It's
and we're all broke.
Yeah, that's the thing,
right? But like it's.
I'm not getting paid for this.
No, sorry. Mayce just stormed out.
Yeah.
Now you can hear his feet.
Sucks.
He just slammed the door. But
we don't even close the door.
We don't. It was such a grand gesture. He's not going to come back for a while because he's got to make this work.
That sucks.
But it's like, hey, I'm going to continue on.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's like I don't know. I think it's like what are those people? Televangelists?
Yeah.
Only sociopaths become that. It's
Yeah.
like elected official. Look how corrupt those mayors and shit are.
Yeah, yeah.
So fucking corrupt and liars.
Yeah.
Because they don't give. They just getting paid.
Yeah.
They want my power and
power.
money. That's it.
Position
That's all they
and
give a
power.
fuck. There's no. This is a dream of something I want to change and do,
Yeah.
and it's just power and money.
Yep.
And so I don't think anyone that becomes a cop wants power. I don't think that's the case, but there's a lot.
Yeah. There's no filter. Like, I always have a good experience like with woman cops, but as soon as it's like a guy, they pull you over and they just start off aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just right away. Don't tell me you don't know what you were doing. Like, and they just super, super aggressive. I'm like, what the hell? Why?
Like you're supposed to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to be like meek and. It's like you got to take out your manliness. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Take out any sense of a man to deal with them, or else you're just looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Because they have all this power of the law behind them. They know more than you in the moment.
Yeah.
And they can say whatever the fuck they want.
And I think too, like, because I guess society's just kind of crippled. Cops aren't getting paid like a good moral human being who would want to get paid a lot of money doing that kind of job, risking their life.
Yeah.
Those people get pushed out. Now it's just people who like guns and like to fuck around with guns and like to have power because they don't, you know what I mean? Like the $40,000 a year is not, it's not the best. But if you love shooting shit and being in power all the time.
Being in power, wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
Being important. Well, I mean, like, to me, like, Ferguson, Bill Cosby, and Jerry Rice. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
It's all, like, because if you look at Bill Cosby, thanks for coming back. Oh, you forgot your jacket.
For real?
He's upset. He's laughing.
Yeah.
He's, I don't know why you're committing to this bit. We moved on so long
Because
ago.
I've done no research on Ferguson. That's why.
Well, I'm on to the point how Ferguson, Bill Cosby, and Jerry Rice, all that kind of stuff is connected.
I was listening from outside.
Okay,
the door.
so I'll say my theory and I'll be done. But I think if you look at Bill Cosby, he got away with all that shit. Everyone's coming out now, right? Like they're like, oh, he has producers that are like, oh yeah, we hit it and everything. It's because he was worth money. Mm-hmm. He had value. Yeah. And everybody else, all those women had no value. Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, fuck them. Who cares?
Yeah.
If Bill Cosby it was still the same thing that he was, people would still hide that shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At Jerry Rice, same thing. If there was no video, no one would give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck about that woman. Mm-hmm. Same thing with this black kid jaywalking gets shot. Mm-hmm. He really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme. There'll be this big uprising, and then like after Christmas. After something, you know what I mean? I guess Black Friday would have been better because that just distracts. As soon as we get the next distraction, we move on. It means nothing, and they know this. Yeah. They know they can just keep moving the story forward. Where's that kid that got shot? No one hears about him. That kid they were playing in an abandoned house, and they got a knock on the door. There was they banged on the door, and they went to answer the door. There was a cop there, and he shot him. Yeah. Shot a kid. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. Yeah. The value of but here's the problem. Is there's too many of these fucking Tea Party bullshit motherfuckers that are racist as shit and buy into this bullshit. They don't realize you're just as valuable as these black people. Mm-hmm. It's just that the narrative makes more sense to go after them, but when it goes after you, you're confused. But nobody means anything.
Yeah.
That's nobody means anything.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Is the system's very good.
Yeah.
I saw. I can't remember his name. Oliver this week tonight or something like that.
Mm-hmm. John Oliver. Last week tonight.
A
brilliant show.
I love that show. It's so good.
Yeah, and he actually touched on it, like how a lot of like those right wingers are always talking about how the government is getting more power and like they're buying tanks and everything for the police, and they're like, if there's anything you could do, you would focus that energy towards it actually happening right there.
Yeah, but it's like joining a gang, right? Or the Klan or whatever with both sides. Yeah. It's just playing up on emotional issues. Yeah. You don't like a black president. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all it is. I don't want a black person as president. And instead of looking at it as like it's all bullshit, it's all figurehead, you allow that your bullshit emotion to control your life.
Yeah.
And you completely miss what's really going on.
Yeah.
That you have no fucking jobs.
Yeah.
that your rights are being eroded, that people are being killed in the street. You're missing all that. Your country is sold to China. It's not yours anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
If they have lobbyists, like think about it. If you have a lobbyist in your country where I could pay money to push my agenda forward with politicians, and it's been proven this is not some sort of conspiracy.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't someone from another country like China or India, people that get a whole bunch of money, have their own fucking lobbyists?
Yeah, for sure.
And have their interest represented better than the fucking people in America.
Yeah,
that whole corporation as a voting person is ridiculous. That's changes so much.
But America has always been that, right? Like from the beginning, their not their Civil War, but their war. Again, what was it against England? Their one as a separation. What was that? What was that war called? I'm like an idiot. They didn't want to pay taxes.
Yeah.
So this whole thing has been. It's under the guise of even at the end of slavery. The North was losing power. The South wanted slaves because it's free labor. They're making more money, and the South is like, we should be the fucking power structure in this country because we should have the White House.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, fuck that. It had nothing. It doesn't. None of this has anything to do with human rights or feeling sorry for one or having sympathy. It all has to do with money, and that's what that country has been built on. Is like, how can we make more money? And everyone in that country that is not the 1% are guinea pigs. That's all they are. Is guinea pigs. You test shit out on them.
Yeah.
You just test shit out on them. It's all bullshit. I know it's a really depressing way to start a show.
It's a good thing to talk about, though.
Yeah, it's I feel like there are a lot of people though that like think that. Like they almost want to play the controversial angle of like, hey, if the facts say he's innocent, then he's innocent. You got to look at the facts because they think they're enlightened by not looking at the racial element of it. But the fact is that like it is an issue about race, and if you look at the evidence and think that's real, then okay, then that's fine. If you really think that's honest, but the reason why people are getting emotional and angry about it is because of other real things. Like Jon Stewart talked about how like he's like he said that on the show they did a thing where they got one of the writers who was white to go in looking kind of scraggly to a building and pretend he had a meeting and walk in. He strolled right through, and then a clean black guy in a suit walked in, got stopped. Yeah.
That's the thing is too is like you can't have something like slavery happen in your country, and like Jim Crow laws like finished in 1950. Like it's very recent. You can't have that kind of thing happen in your country and then go, all right, let's move on with our lives. Like it just on either side is like it just.
It would be nice if you could. That'd be ideal if we could ignore race, but it's so
dealing with so many. Race doesn't exist apparently. It's not a phrenological or whatever. It's not a phrenology. It's not one of the phrenologies. It's a grouping of
species.
Yeah, species. So racism isn't part of. It's not part of phrenology. It doesn't exist. We're all technically based on one, but based on experiences and cultures, yes, there is race, right?
Well, it's all based on an individual thing, which is we want to individually feel like we are special. We like not special, the opposite. We want to feel like we're part of a group, and you want security.
Well, there's also an identity in it too, right? Your own personal identity too. But yes, you're right. I agree with you.
Well, yeah, it's just a different. It's just something that differentiates you from someone else, and because of that, it's up for the opportunity to create a divide. You want to be like, you want to say, well, we're better, or to be a part. You want to be on a team.
Well, like and that's the thing. That's what racism is like. It's teams versus teams. So it's like to be a white person. Like every ad in America or even in North America, it's like geared to white people. Like it's mainly white faces. I mean, it's changed over the years. It's mainly white faces, and it plays up the insecurity of the perfection that white people can't be.
Yeah.
And then, but automatically they play up this other narrative where it's like the black male is a scary monster that you got to watch out for. But you're better than that. But to be the perfect white person, you got to buy this or do this. So it's just playing everybody against each other. It's just like it's all bullshit. It's just
well, and that's I imagine it's easy. This is I don't know if this will make sense, but like I guess I don't know for sure, but I hear like I don't know what I'm trying to say with this, but like the idea of you want to be on a team. Black people are, in a sense, more in the right because they've just been oppressed. Yes. They're like if anything, if we are on teams, which obviously we're not, you should be avoiding that. They're the one that's like, well, we're the good guys here because everybody's been a dick to us for all of history.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, right? Yeah, I agree with you.
So but in that sense, is that an incentive to associate stronger with their team? Like we're all, because I've heard W. Kamau Bell say that like when he was trying to explain what it's like being black, he's like, well, you feel this responsibility that your actions speak for everybody.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say the same thing. Like, is that the case?
It's only the case because of the old systemic racism, because it's just something built in the system. Like there's white privilege, which I don't like to use that term too much, but it's something. It's not like oh, you benefit from something because you do something, but you do have benefits of shit. Yeah. Like it's just naturally that you're gonna have benefits of shit. But it's that, like, I was thinking the other day, like sometimes I'll be in a store or something, and I'll see a woman, and I'll try to act a certain way so I'm not too. So she doesn't feel too threatened. I know that sounds very weird, but it's just like I just don't want that problem where I get that look, and it's like, ugh.
No, that makes sense. Everybody has things. We're always on some level thinking about how other people are thinking of us, and you know what you look like, so you know the stereotypes that somebody who doesn't know you at all is going to associate.
Yes,
and. In our, like, we all usually have bits about it in our stand-up. I joke about how, like, I assume people think I'm nerdy and stuff. But that's a thing. That's never threatening. I never have to worry about somebody thinking that because of how I look, I'm going to be a threat to them.
And I live in a country where I generally don't have to worry about, oh, they're going to shoot me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get harassed by cops. Not as much as because I'm older, but when I was younger, I get harassed by cops. Not all the time either, because I lived in the suburbs, right? So it wasn't a regular thing for me. But they live in a place where they can get killed with that same thing. The same thing you're talking about. Someone could shoot them, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, we're not even human to you. And that goes back to slavery, where they're like, blacks were 1/5 human.
Yeah.
So that mentality has not left. It hasn't left. It's still. I was debating someone. We were talking about the Emancipation Proclamation by with what's his name? Fuck, the president with the beard, top hat.
Lincoln.
Lincoln's. What the fuck is
What's
wrong
the
with
Emancipation Proclamation? It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
It's the freeing of the slaves. So
okay.
So that's what the Civil War was over, right?
I didn't know Seuss wrote that one.
Yeah, he did. So he did that. Him and Lincoln. Lincoln and Seuss. Lincoln and Seuss. They were a great folk song in the 60s. Folk duo. Lincoln and Seuss.
Lincoln and Seuss. Okay.
So we were arguing, and I'm like, well, it was good. He's like, oh, well, do you know why that actually happened? And I'm like, and I said, well, it wasn't based on an emotional connection to slaves, but economics. And he said to me, oh, because, okay, yeah, you do know, because I just figured it was just an emotional thing because most black people don't know. And right there in that sentence, exactly. But right there, he didn't mean to. It wasn't like a conscious thing. He wasn't being racist. He assumed that most black people are emotional about that subject, and he's smarter about it.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's a fucking thing that happens in a lot of black people's lives on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you're looked at, not even evil or angry or mean. It's just like you're looked at, oh, you're a little...
Whereas racism was like more like, getting sliced with a sword, but now it's like little nicks and cuts all the time.
Yeah, it's still exactly. It's still, but it's still that. You're absolutely right. It's still that.
That's
thing.
So funny. Most black people don't know
because they're emotional connected to it.
And I think everyone can understand what it would be like to feel like you must have felt in that situation, not for the same reason racially, but just like if you've ever been like talking when you were a teenager, talking to an adult about something that you had an opinion on, and they would throw at you like, well, you're a kid, which is true, and you might grow out of your opinion, but just because you're young and you can be emotional with certain things doesn't also mean that you can't be rational about them as well.
It's condescending.
It's very condescending.
It's so condescending. Like to do that to anyone.
Yeah.
It's condescending to go, oh well, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, and that's on a like to me like
just because it affects you, you can't possibly.
Yeah, you're calling me stupid.
Yeah.
Like you're smarter than me, and why are you smarter than me?
Yeah.
And it's because you were born smarter than me. But again, this person I was talking to, it wasn't a fuck you, and it was. He didn't.
Wasn't aware of it.
And it's and my argument was like, okay, whether it was done for emotional reasons, why slavery ended for emotional reasons or economic reasons. If I was a slave, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I just wouldn't care as long as slavery's over.
Yeah.
I'm not a slave anymore, and it just. He's like, oh, okay, but he doesn't understand. He's bringing back an idea that comes from slavery, that comes from way back then, where you thought you were better than us.
Okay. Have you ever noticed any? Did you say anything to him, like when he said that?
Until like
after,
after it. Sometimes because I don't see that he's a bad person. Like I don't,
and that's the thing. If he has no maliciousness about it, it's hard to be like, you're being racist right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it drives me crazy.
Yeah. So here's my question to you.
Yeah.
We're your friends.
Yeah.
Have we ever been racist without knowing it?
But
so
not but like
I believe you. I 100% believe, because even that, like the guy's wrong, really wrong, but I can understand where he's coming from because it's just a stupid thing that he didn't think of. He doesn't have the experience to think of.
He doesn't know a lot of black people.
Yeah. So that's what I want to know. I want to know if like
it's just little things, but it's also
that's media portrayal too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the story. But it's also my problem with racism and all that kind of shit is it's going to like white privilege happens and it is a thing and you guys benefit from it.
Yeah.
But as long as you could talk about it. Like me with Pat and I when we had that and he's like, why do black people hate slavery? That's the most racist I've had out of everybody. But I know Pat, he's not being malicious or an asshole. He's just, I feel guilty for something and I don't have to deal with this regularly. I don't know a lot you're probably the only black person I really know other than, Zeus. That doesn't help at all. So now I'm having an intellectual conversation about a concept that I don't really fully understand. But I feel a certain way. That to me, that's the best shit ever.
Yeah.
Because at least you're willing to fucking sit here and listen and talk, and I can listen to your point. Like to me, that's so. To me, that's not an evil person. That's just a Because I'm misogynist. I'm sure I'm racist. I'm sure I'm all that shit too. I say shit about women that I honestly say I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the fucking rules anymore, man.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to hear and learn and debate and talk about it.
That's the important thing. I think just there's just always divide, whether it's racial division or like battle of the sexes or war of the sexes or whatever. But it's like you get like a woman and a guy talking to each other. Like I learned so much from working with girls about a woman's perspective, and it just changed everything. And like
really?
My thing is with that is like the best thing to do is just mix people together as much as you can.
And look how great your son's going to benefit from that.
Yeah,
just to learn stuff outside of himself. Mm-hmm. That's great. Mm-hmm. To me, it's just that's why everyone said some bullshit. Mm-hmm. Everyone said it. When I was younger, I used to get more heated.
Yeah. Well, and it is an unavoidable fact that we are all limited to our own experiences. Yeah. So unless you're actively pursuing, looking to expand your experience and hear other people's point of view and incorporate that into your experience, then you're gonna have certain not even biases, because obviously racism is bad, but to make mistakes or to just miss something like that is and I think what you said is absolutely right. As long as you're open to debate and talk and hear other people's point of views, you're good. Other than from women and Mexicans.
That's a Mexican woman. Come on, that's the worst. I see racist shit almost every day. I see something, but I'll get worked at, and then I just because it's just. Sometimes I think white people look at racism like not all white people. I shouldn't say that, but there's white people that look at racism like it's fucking Loch Ness monster.
Yeah,
like, it's like everyone's talking about it, but I don't see it. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never seen this thing.
Yeah. I kind of understand that a little bit. I never had a father, but my mom, she never even she was not racist at all, and she never even talked about it. And I remember being around 8 or 9, and I remember watching a guy yell at another guy. And I'm like, why are they yelling at each other? And my mom was like, because that guy's black and he doesn't like black people. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
It doesn't make sense.
And so I've grown up like a lot of my life with that in my head. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So then when you hear people say that this racist shit's still going on, you're just like, I don't understand.
Well, your world crumbles a bit, right? When you hear truths that go against what you believe, that's why religious people get fucked off. I'm not comparing you to a religious person. But I'm just saying you have an idea of your world, and then it's like this truth comes in. You're like, yeah, but that's it. Just I didn't grow around because you never had to deal with racism.
No,
really, you didn't.
Yeah.
And so to see it or have it happen, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
everything seemed normal.
Yeah,
and then to see it the dude yelling at dude, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it was actually, I think, kind of. I want to look at it as a positive thing that my mom never she wasn't racist and never introduced me to it, but it was also kind of a negative thing because it kind of there was this long stretch of time where I didn't even know racism exists.
But how does she do that? You know what I mean? Like it's your child. Do you want to introduce shitty things to your kid?
Yeah, but everybody's got like a father or something that says, oh, because they're fucking Asian, they can't drive or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like those little things come up, and then you go, okay, this exists.
Yeah, but there's a difference between racism and that's bigotry.
Yeah,
to me, that's prejudice and bigotry, and that's just like fucking. Everyone's got that. Racism, you got to have power over someone. So, the cops doing that shit to kids, black kids, that's racism. White dude yelling at a black dude because he doesn't like black people, that's a bigot. That's prejudice, right? So,
I get you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, to deal with racism, it's a complicated concept for adults, never mind a kid.
Yeah.
To, how does that work?
Never mind uninformed comedians.
Never mind. Us. What the fuck are we doing?
How are we going to solve Ferguson right now? Can I throw this through your window? Can I throw the chair through your window?
If you need to.
So much civil. I remember coming back when I was on my honeymoon, and we came back. All right. We came back from, it was just when Katrina happened. So we come back from San Francisco, and this guy in my wife's neighborhood, my mother-in-law's neighborhood, comes up to me and he's like, what do you think about all those looting? And it's just so antagonistic and just I mean, you mean the looting for baby diapers and shoes? That looting,
well, and also that's the same as that your friend did to you. It's like, well, you must have an emotional opinion about this. Let's hear what you know.
They're my people, so and it's just and then it's just so I've hung out in that neighborhood. My wife is white, and I've hung out in that neighborhood so many times I never had to deal with anything. And that's the hardest fucking thing when that fucking chunk of reality just comes into I'm just a regular person here.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's like, just let me be a fucking... That's basically my problem with this whole cop shooting this kid. Whether he caused problems or not, whether he robbed that place, just treat him like a fucking person.
Yeah, yeah. No, ignore the teams. It's not... You're not with all of the same people, the same color. It's not against. We're all alone. There are no teams. We're all
tase them, arrest them, bring them in, whatever. He didn't have to die.
Yeah,
that's my problem. Arrest him. Okay, maybe he is arrest him. Maybe whatever.
Yeah,
you don't have to shoot him.
That's crazy.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. So we're gonna change Nick's laptop background to gay porn, right?
Absolutely.
Well, he's out of the room.
Well, we have to let his family see it.
Can I do that? Should I do that?
Do I just go on your regular? Do you have your gay porn address, username?
I'll log into my BitCasa.
Oh, you use BitCasa?
No, I did. I tried to one time. You got me to because I just remember you were going to send me something.
I stopped using it.
I don't know how to do this, so I'm abandoning that little prank. No, when we went to Windsor
Yes.
I downloaded it because there was something you were going to send me.
Yeah.
No, I was going to send you your video from Kingston.
Oh, okay.
And I tried using it. I don't think you ever got it because Bitcast, it didn't work for me. And then I tried deleting it, and it wouldn't. It was on my laptop for so long. Oh, only because I'm shitty with computers. So I didn't know how to like go in and actually like delete the application.
You should get app delete.
Oh, I don't know. I dealt with it now. I don't know what it is.
But I mean, like, app delete will get all the files. All you have to do is just find it, click on it, press delete, and it gets all the files.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
It's a free program. Just Google it. It's
all right.
free. I
Google.
Use it yeah.
What's
That's a search engine. Yeah, which is, you
Okay.
type in whatever you want into your browsers.
Where's this engine?
On your browser.
And what does this engine run on?
It runs on the internet power.
The internet power?
Okay, so maybe you shouldn't be on computers.
Computers.
Have you thought about
Computers?
How much confusion can you get to?
Confusion?
So Manolis and I did your show on Friday.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot
That
of
was
fun.
one of my favorite episode in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on? Do
Do
you want to talk about it or no?
I
We don't have
mean-
to talk about everything, but yeah.
Yeah, so Izzy left our show,
Okay.
and I haven't really heard from him, so I don't really know what's happening. That's all. That's basic. What's happening is that I'm out of the loop with him. I don't know. He hasn't.
Have you been doing that thing in Toronto, the recording, doing your...
Yes, the prank show.
Yeah.
That's been really fun.
And
And
so
it's done now.
But you haven't been in and out for...
I did about like, I did over the past like 2 months. I think I've been there like maybe for like 3 episodes.
Oh, so
or
it's
something.
not long. Not many at all.
Not many, no. They did a bunch by themselves. They did a bunch with guests.
Yeah.
And they did great. It was really funny episodes, the ones I listened to. But
It's a funny show. You guys are hilarious.
Sometimes it's funny. It's fun to do every time.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
But it's so like I'm sure we could put in more work into it and like plan out the episodes that they're like stronger every time, or at least more aligned to a certain theme.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We generally come up with it episode by episode, not necessarily on the spot, but just like it's not like a planned out thing. And so
that clearly happened this Friday.
yes.
Like, yeah.
And so with that, some are going to be completely shitty and some are going to be really fun.
Well, I think what happens is that you have the same characters mainly.
Yeah.
So it's harder to be like, okay, let's do, because I guess you go fit into that thing that you guys are used to. So planning out is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, and we do like Jordan and I. It's usually like last minute. It's usually like Thursday.
Yeah.
We end up calling each other, and it's like usually like a 2-hour phone call of like.
Wow.
Of like making fun of each other and realizing we have no idea what to do the next day, and then through that somehow coming up with, all right, here's what's going to happen. You know,
So you guys make fun of each other for like half hour, and then
it's
get
usually
into it?
it's usually just a lot of.
How much bacon did you eat this week?
How much bacon?
Yeah, no, him. I'm saying you two are
Oh.
each other because he just eats the breakfast.
Bowls of bacon.
Yeah.
What
the classic bacon, the classless bacon, the classless breakfast.
Can I get the classic breakfast without eggs or toast or dignity?
Unclassless breakfast for me. Just make it so classless. Yeah. Like the morning after for the classy lady.
Yeah.
I want the morning after breakfast. The walk of shame breakfast. Like the classy lady walk of shame breakfast.
Can I get a bowl of bacon and some Plan B?
That's basically a bowl of bacon. I remember when I lived in Toronto. I don't see it as much in Hamilton. It's weird, but I guess because I live in. But the walk of shames were so fucking awesome.
Really?
Oh, because they're too. It's like Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and they're too dressed up, and they're just.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you didn't have a toothbrush. You didn't walk with a toothbrush and just like hobbling down the street. It's like, ugh.
Now, I've never been in that scene, like the just like one night stands or anything. Have you guys?
It's not really a scene.
You know what I'm saying? No?
There's not. It's not a one night stand scene. There's no like a Facebook group or anything.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can't do one night stands. I could never do it. Like, you start talking to a girl or whatever, and I can't shut up. I have to find out like everything. Like, I have to know like if they're a racist and all this stuff. For
a one night stand?
Yeah, like I just can't leave it alone. I'm like, how do you feel about this? Oh, I'm like,
I prefer racist for a one night stand. Wouldn't that be hot as hell?
Yeah.
Like, just like, yeah.
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Well, like all of the interracial porn is racist.
Yeah.
It's shit. It's sexy as hell.
Yeah.
I have never watched interracial porn. I mean, like, I've seen it. I've just never actively watched it. I think because I can't put myself in the...
Because you're racist. You can't be a black guy?
I guess that's my racism,
you can't be a black guy? Well, for a white guy, it's more about shame. It's like
that's my racism.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck? I knew these black guys had giant dicks, and I knew they'd fuck my sister or my wife or my mother. That's what interracial porn for white guys is.
Yeah.
Interracial porn for black guys is like, it's being vicariously living through that guy.
Yeah. Well,
with an impossible dick.
But you can watch porn with white guys, is what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying, if you look at it logically,
yeah,
you can't relate to being the black dick.
No.
All you can relate to in interracial porn is, I feel bad about this on some level. I feel bad. I feel ashamed.
I never feel bad. I'm always like, good for that guy. But I just...
Yeah, but you can't get into it.
Yeah, it's like, this is, I can't possibly...
I'm talking about the white guy that can get into it.
Yeah.
That likes it. It's about shame.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with... I'm not making fun of that. There's nothing wrong
I guess
with that.
so.
Because that's the only way to look at it. It's like, oh, why the fuck are you fucking my wife? Or, oh, I want a black guy to fuck my wife. Because that's you know what I mean? It's just... You can't avoid race in that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Can you watch white guys in porn?
Fuck black girls?
Or any girls?
No, I don't get it. I'm like you with white guys fucking black girls.
Like, it's like, it's...
But I can't watch white guys fucking white girls.
Okay.
I can't get into that. But, I can't say I can't see white guys fucking black girls. But I can't, because I can. So, no, I'm not... But none of it's guilt or like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I like, whenever I watch porn, I never put myself... I more look at, like, fly on the wall type shit. So
I'm like you, too. Like, fly on the wall. Yeah, I'm never like, that's me.
Yeah, so it's all good for me, except for Asian porn.
Most of the time, that's what I do as well. Like, but then again, maybe not. Maybe there's some level where I must be putting myself in it. Like, consciously, I don't think of myself I'm just watching it, and it makes me have an erection, and then I masturbate.
There has to be a level of relating.
That felt weird.
You have to be into what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a level. There's got to be something where you're like, I would do that, or I like that. There's got to be some level of you are an active participant, but not you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is a level, even if you're fly on the wall, there's a level of that.
Yeah.
Because it has to be a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Because why do we choose different types of porn?
Yeah.
Like, if it was just, I just like watching people fuck, I could watch anything, but I can't watch anything.
Yeah. I
can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
I either like this type of woman, or like, you know what I mean? Or like this position, or like what they did here. There's got to be something that relates to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think to me, interracial porn for white guys is guilt and fear.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like,
I think when you said there, I knew it. I knew you.
It's like, I knew you want to fuck. Why would you? Which is like, like when you look at cops shooting black guys, it's just like, what the? Yeah, come on. There's a whole industry. They make an industry out of this. Yeah, there's just like, it's got to be like, what the fuck, my wife?
Yeah.
Why are you fucking my daughter? There's porns that are made for that.
Yeah.
Where the mother can't pay the son's bills, and then she gets fucked by the black guy. It's just like, it's the most racist shit on the planet, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I noticed there's a trend too, like on a lot of porn sites, everybody is that guy's daughter. Like every woman in any video is like, father and daughter fuck or something like that. I'm like, how can they all be that? Like, and you see that same porn on like another website, and it's just
that not all porn is father-daughter.
No, I know that.
Okay,
I know that.
I think you're on a very specific website.
Are you sure?
I'm
I'm pretty sure it's all father-daughter.
I'm pretty sure not all porn.
User submitted.
If it's all father-daughter, how have I watched so many gay gangbangs? Wait, I mean,
as father-son.
No, like
father-son
like
reunion.
User submitted type stuff. It always seems to be labeled that way. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You two would make the perfect dude who's watching either his wife or sister or mother get fucked.
Whoa, I can't even be the guy fucking in the
you're
porn.
the one that's rubbing his
Come on.
You're doing that? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even get to do that.
You got it down.
Yeah.
Do it.
How come you let him do it?
It's your mom with the magician.
Wait a second. No.
See, that's
I'm
it.
not.
Perfect. That's dead on.
You son of a bitch.
No, because you would actually be okay with it.
But
You'd
this
be like,
might be lucrative,
can
so
I perform,
I'm okay with
Can
that.
I perform on Friday, though? You can keep going, but can I... That's
Your
my...
son's a great performer, but I got to test you out, too.
Yeah.
Mom.
So seriously, how'd you do that thing with the coin?
I'll show you right now. What's that behind your ear? Oh, what is it?
Oh, God, I hate that I participated in that
You
riff.
did. That's awesome. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Well, what do we have on the list? Sorry, I just...
What time are we at?
1 hour and 10 minutes.
1:43.
Okay.
I got to take off before 5. I don't know what you guys want
Yeah,
to do.
That's cool.
I say if there's... I think the podcast is good right now. If
I thought
if there's
this is
anything
a
else
fun
we
one.
should cover...
Do you want to do any comedy stuff, like talk about specials or anything? It's up to you guys.
I haven't watched... I mean, Gerard Carmichael, I watched his special recently,
Have
and
you
that was
seen it?
funny.
No.
Okay. Yeah,
But we talked about this. It was a little like...
But you see, I like it. Like I came up in the world where everything's super tight and super like ugh, like
yeah.
And I really like the idea of comedy, like even Wyatt Cenac. And I know you weren't a big fan of it.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of. I also like to see black comics. I don't mean to go to race, but I like seeing all comics doing this, where they're just becoming. Like when I watched you at his show on Friday, and you got into that area where it was a little bit of trouble for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it looked like you were kind of didn't look like you were forgetting the jokes, but it just looked like
I was finding the words for the jokes.
But you were in it emotionally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, if it kills, it's awesome. But I like that you were experiencing, like you were just giving something different with it, like just something interesting. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot, but
no, I think it is interesting. To me, it's like I find it interesting as like if it's like here's a part of the process.
Yeah.
Like I'd love just a series of YouTube videos where it's comics working a bit out.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me, but I still like the end goal of making it tight. And so I love when I just love like Jim Gaffigan, who when he goes up, his act is so tight. It's just boom, 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 boom the whole way through.
I like that too, but I also like seeing different types of comedy as mainstream.
Yeah. Well, Stanhope is my favorite.
Yeah.
And he is like often it's kind of like blubbering and like trying to find the words and stuff and I think it's clearly my favorite, but I think also too is that there are parts that are almost unfinished, like he doesn't know the words, and then there are parts that are like polished. Like that joke is perfect. The wording,
I fall
you know,
in more of the Jared Carmichael side, than I do on the other side. So I'm like, I like that where it's just anything can happen. Maybe not anything can happen, but there's the illusion of anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate the Jim Gaffigan side, where I'm like, I wish I was that.
Yeah.
I think that's my own personal battle of. I wish I could be that. Where it's just like bang, bang, bang. But I also like the other side. I don't know. That's how I
rewatched the Chris Porter thing, Ugly and Angry or whatever. I really like. I don't know. I really like his style. He's just really cool. I watched it.
I have to watch it. I tried to get into it and then I stopped. And I think it's the way he looks. And then
that's it. If you let yourself, he's got the angry thing down pat. I just love it. He's got the slayers like, if you don't know who the fucktard in your family is, it's you. He just does like so perfect.
I watched Donald Glover this weekend, and he has a bit.
Which
that I'm
one?
doing. The last one, 2012.
Weirdo?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm doing a bit where I talk about him trying out for Spider-Man, but my whole bit is that it's talking about how nerds can be bigots too. Everyone, they can be bullies too. And his is.
Is this the bit that you were worried that you?
Yeah, similar to.
And so, what was his bit?
His bit is just talking about how he wanted to be Spider-Man, and someone said he responded to one comment when they're like, "Well, we should make Michael Cera Shaft," and he does a whole. Black people are not into Shaft isn't our superhero. He does a whole thing about Shaft, but mine's different, I think, but similar. When I'm talking about how nerds could be bigots or bullies too.
I've heard both bits, and I don't think that it is the same.
I trust you.
I think just the core of it, I want to go back and actually watch that just to be sure, because not to like validate for you, just for my own interest's sake. But from what I recall, his bit is, it's like more just like making fun of the comments. Yours is about the idea of black people, of nerds not accepting any details being changed.
Yes,
and I think it's two different premises and about the same. It's the same initial starting point, but none of the jokes or setups are the same.
I'm even thinking about changing the starting point to somebody else.
I wouldn't. I think it's the perfect.
Okay. It makes you feel weird. Like I remember, like I had this joke and it wasn't well polished or whatever. But I remember seeing some other popular comedian doing it. And it made me feel weird. It was just like, I gotta get rid of that whole thing now. Like,
usually I am like, I'll get rid of it, but this one I'm like, I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
You're not. I'm the same. I'm very sensitive with trying to figure out if anything is anything close. But recently, I've been starting to try to keep that same level of awareness, but also remember that the whole end goal is to be true to yourself. And so, if it's an opinion you or I honestly feel. And I wrote the joke without any knowledge of another joke,
know about his bit either.
And there was no attempt at being close or following along any similar line of thought or pattern.
Yeah.
And it happens to have some similarity. Yeah. I think I'm okay with it because it's artistically has integrity and it's honest.
Yes, you weren't trying to rewrite something.
Yeah.
I've been going over it and I'm like, this doesn't feel the same. Like normally, like what you said, where I'm like, oh, I can't do that anymore. But this one, I was just like, I don't. And I'm also willing to throw something away that I love.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. But at this one, I'm just like, I don't know.
Based on what Mayce is saying, it doesn't sound like it's the same. So it's just same subject matter. But
his is personal, mine's the subject, like talking about the concept of that.
That's the other thing, is that I think the final criteria should be if the joke is so similar. Even if it was completely uninfluenced, if the joke is so similar that saying it is basically the same, if they're like interchangeable, then at that point I would cut it only because like I think we all do want to have some level of originality where your people would want to hear you specifically
talk what you're talking about.
If that's the case, then you can scrap it. But it's not with that bit. Okay. That bit is you're saying something different.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I feel better about that.
Good.
I don't know why I brought that. Well, it's a subject to talk about at the podcast. Yeah.
No,
but that whole Steve Martin thing you do, you got to cut that. That's between you and me.
Arrows, dude. I'm using those arrows.
No, Gavin. Everybody knows the white suit, the pharaoh.
To be fair, my suit's cream. Off-white.
I would. All right, maybe if you show me
wild
the ink
and
palette.
Crazy people. I'm a wild and crazy person. I didn't even say guy. Yeah. I'm a wild and crazy
You do
person.
King Tut verbatim.
Okay, but that's different.
At Kaylee House, you're gonna do King Tut.
2014. My King Tut's so different.
How is it different?
I'm King Tut. I forget the song. But I sing it up instead of, how he goes up at that part. I go a little less up.
You know what?
I go up, but not so much.
I don't want to hear it. Anyways, we got to end this. I got to go pick up mallets and watermelons. So,
fuck.
Gallagher reference at the end.
You're
like a total Zach Galifianakis on the show.
What does that mean?
Oh, you have.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
You have to do that thing he does with like the audience's voice, where you're like, I don't think I like that.
He's because Zach does a lot of like theatrical stuff.
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm thinking of the wrong guy. I'm thinking Jim Gaffigan.
I am on this this specific podcast. I don't know why, just because it's fun.
Yeah, you're very Jimmy.
I feel silly with you guys.
Yeah, that's okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I watched, it's back on Netflix, it's Live at the Purple Onion. I love that special.
Yeah.
I remember it being very funny, but it wasn't anything like...
It was the first time I saw
outstanding
that.
to me.
It's so different.
Yeah.
Small room, just different. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's really freewheeling too.
Yeah. That's how I would do a special. Like, tiny room, small audience, not a big, giant one.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
I love the staircase for that. All right.
Do you want to wrap up? Do you guys
Yeah.
Any shows you guys got to promote?
Okay, I'll do my shows. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Brampton on New Year's Eve, I'll be doing shows there. January 20th, I'll be at Fanshawe College. February 5th, I'll be in Toronto for the Star Trek Holodeck Follies. Where was that, Mayce?
That is, shit.
The Black Swan Theater.
Black Swan Theater, something like that. It's an. I wish I remembered because the venue is really.
It's
awesome.
it's a smaller Rivoli looking
Yeah.
place. The 25th or
nicer stage area, not as high. Perfect for stand up. Perfect for stand up.
February 28th, 29th, around there. I'm gonna be doing a show in Guelph. March 13th to the 13th to the 14th. I'll be in Hecklers in Victoria, BC. Then the 17th to the 20th, I believe. It's that whole weekend. I'll be in Vancouver at Comedy Mix. Then the week after that, I'll be in Calgary at the Laugh Shop. So that's March 27th weekend. And then July 3rd to the 5th, I'll be in Montreal at the Comedy Nest.
Damn.
That's a good time. But those are all so there'll be other dates coming up in between that, hopefully, or else I'll be dead.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. On one day I have Donnie gig. So I have a gig with Donnie Coy. I don't know where or when, but if you can track that down, I'll be doing about 20 minutes.
Does he like pick you up at your house the night of and like blindfold you?
No, I got to pick him up, but there's no point getting the details now. I'll just closer to the date say, hey, what are we doing?
Are you doing any more of your shows at Thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably wait a little bit just because it's really cold. It's hard getting people out when it's super cold. But
we should do you should do one with the girls' night out. I know
we can for sure.
I know we were on. Three of us were on one, but
yeah. It's just about if we can drive people there, or if you don't care if people are there, we can just do it whenever too. We can do it any night of the week, basically.
Well, let's do it when it's not so cold.
Yeah,
when spring comes around.
Okay, cool. That works.
Yeah, do a live show. What are you laughing about?
I don't know if it's worth bringing up at all.
Say it.
I feel embarrassed about it. Asking.
A magic show?
No, it might be racist. That's why.
Say it.
Okay. You're gonna go to the blackout.
I've only ever heard you and one other black guy use the word "thing" as a substitute for saying the thing.
Oh. Okay.
You know, and so I'm just wondering if that is like a part of like a vernacular that's like a part of the culture or so.
Like
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm
thing,
asking. I'm trying to be
replacing thing.
Like saying, are you going to do, like you said, are you going to do any more of your shows at Thing? And it makes sense. It's like
no, that's me. That's my brain is like slowly eroding.
Okay, well, I don't know. All right.
Thing, but you know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody knows.
That's just
okay.
My brain eroding.
All right. Well, that's my limited experience.
Don't get black culture from me. I know black culture, but I'm not black culture guy. I'm no culture guy.
Is having one of your buttons unbuttoned on your shirt?
Have you been staring at
black culture?
Black culture. It's an Old Navy black culture shirt.
Superman ring. Is that black culture?
Very much. I go into the store. I go, "Where's your Superman black culture section?" Right away, right next to the Sheikies.
That'd be hilarious having because now they have to deal with that. They have to figure out a way of responding to it without it being racist.
But they got to sell stuff too. Well, this guy clearly thinks we have a black culture section.
That is hilarious. That'd be a great video to like hidden camera thing.
Black culture section,
or even just like where's your black shirts? I want to get some black or not like that. No, where's your African American shirts and see what they say, whether they like call you out or just try to sell you on the shirt.
Where's your black cultural section in their furniture store? You go to a furniture store. Where's your black cultural section?
That's
right
hilarious.
away.
Let's make that happen.
Okay. Yeah. I remember I was in Kingston, and I got a kick out of the dollar store. The incense, they had like all these like black love and Afro, like it was like these black people on these packages of incense making love and stuff.
I saw that, yeah. I think they even had one called like Jungle Fever or something.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, who wants their house to smell like black people having sex? Like, who wants that?
Everybody.
It smells like black people having sex or cookies.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if we do that video, we gotta do one with the white guy going in the store and a black guy going in the store, because the white guy,
the Caucasian section.
No,
the
like black cultural section.
No, the white guy goes in and asks where the black cultural section is, and they're gonna go, get the fuck out of here. Whereas like when the black guy comes over and be like, how do we deal with this?
Well, I'm curious to see how
that'd be interesting.
Don't you think you should have a black cultural section?
I want to do this. I want to do this web series.
What are you, racist?
Yeah. I want to do a web series that's like, is this racist? So I get average people, sit them in a room, and I bring up something like whatever, and then is it racist or not? And then just like try to find out if it's racist or sexist or misogynist.
That would be hilarious.
It's just like whatever, and just like
and have a panel of people
quiz them on it, and just
That's hilarious. Yeah.
I think so. I think it'd be fun. I'm going to do the incense thing. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to talk about the black incense.
Cool. All right. Thank you for listening. Check out all our social media stuff.
Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. You can find it just by typing things into the Google and shit. And that's the end of the podcast. Bye now.